Hello, I'm here to discuss an informal assessment strategy called the Muddiest Point. Let me begin by giving you a brief outline of my presentation. First, I will try to explain the Muddiest Point assessment strategy and explain the context by which this strategy could work best. I will give some limitations and advantages of this Muddiest Point strategy, describe some best practices, and explain how to provide feedback to learners. What is the Muddiest Point assessment strategy? It allows the teachers to ask students what is most unclear, most confusing, or most difficult in the lesson just taken up. It's usually asked at the end of a class or a discussion or even a reading assignment. It allows students to give brief answers to the question, what was the muddiest point in my lecture today? When would this strategy work best? It's usually well suited for large lower division classes. It should be posed at the end of a lecture or a lesson or a class discussion. It can be used where a large amount of new information is presented each session, and these are usually sessions where a lot of muddiest points can be possibly raised. It's best used sparingly in courses where the emphasis is on integrating, synthesizing, and evaluating information. These are courses like mathematics, statistics, economics, or even health sciences. What are some limitations of the muddiest point strategy? First of all, the focus is given too much on what students do not understand, thereby making it a little bit negative. It can undermine the motivation of both the students and the teacher. It can be disconcerting despite class preparation and best efforts in teaching. It's sometimes difficult for some students to explain or even identify what it is they don't understand. And it's more likely that students will raise difficult questions that the teacher may sometimes not be able to answer. Let's flip the coin and look at the good side. What are some advantages of the muddiest point strategy? Well, it's quick, it's simple, it's easy to administer, and it's very effective considering the amount of information you can gather. It doesn't require much planning or preparation or even class time. It allows you to focus on deeper understanding and not just simply recalling information. It gives the teacher a snapshot of what it is the students didn't really understand in the lesson. It allows the students to air what they don't understand, especially for those who are a little bit shy or hesitant to ask questions. It promotes self-assessment, reflection, and deeper thinking, and allows students to be more responsible learners. Teachers encourage continued involvement, and it helps them see the material through the students' eyes. And it provides them new insight, more information to help them improve their teaching, which topics to emphasize, and how much time to spend in them. What are some best practices to help make muddiest point strategy an effective one? First of all, we need to tell students why we are asking this question. We need to explain what use it will have and what will we do with their responses. We need to explain how this can improve their learning and even our teaching. We need to make it clear to them that this will not be graded. We can even ask for anonymous responses, like passing out pieces of paper and collecting them back with responses using a muddy points collection box. We also need to tell them how much time they have to provide those brief answers. Now that we have the responses, what do? We collect the responses, we group them maybe according to importance, we read and answer through them quickly, maybe at least half of them. We respond to the students' feedback as soon as possible and try to close the feedback loop. This means we use these responses to help us restart the discussion or maybe move on to the next. And we explain how this information will help us adjust our teaching and help them improve their learning. In conclusion, what do we need to remember when we use the muddiest point strategy? Teachers shouldn't get angry or disappointed when they learn what it is students don't understand. They don't need to spend too much time on responding to all the muddiest points because this will risk losing momentum of the course. And they also need to make clear that not all the muddiest points can be cleared out immediately. But the important thing that we all need to remember is that this is an ongoing, it's a continuous, and it's an integrated assessment strategy that helps makes learning and teaching a shared activity, both from the students and the teacher. These are the references used for this presentation. Thanks for listening.